Hi guys, welcome to this speed build video in The Sims 4. My name is Irene and today it is time for a very special video. My very first collab ever. I got invited to this collab a couple of months ago and the brief was basically to build a spring themed build. We could build whatever we wanted on whatever lot we wanted, and we had to upload it on March 20th, and I'm so honored to be a part of this collab, to be amongst a list of amazing simmers like Simproofed, Kate Emerald, Devin Bumpkin, and of course a lot more. I will link all these other simmers that joined this collab in the description box down below, all their videos, so you can check out their videos as well. As I said, the brief was to build something spring themed. So I started thinking about what to do for this collab, and almost immediately my mind went to a wedding venue. I never did a wedding venue before and I thought it was so much fun to create one, and I wasn't the only one with that idea because Simproofed and Kate Emerald did a wedding venue as well, and I think it's amazing that they're all so different. The one from Simproofed, it's a wedding barn, it's gorgeous. Kate Emerald did an amazing hoo-hoo temple, it's so cool. And I went more like the traditional classic way. I started thinking about these huge greenhouses, conservatories. I don't know what the correct word is for it in English, but I started thinking about these huge glass buildings in the middle of a park with a lot of natural, daylight. And I wanted to do something with that. So I went on Pinterest to gather some inspiration, and then I found a crystal palace in Madrid. I will put a picture of it on your screen right now, and that was the basic inspiration for the exterior of this build. The real crystal palace is empty in the exterior. In the interior, it has a mirror floor, and it's so gorgeous. It's so pretty, but I went totally the different way with the interior here. Of course, I wanted to make it like a dream wedding venue, over the top with everything that a Disney princess would want in a dream wedding. So I went all the way with flowers, with lights, with a dance floor, of course a wedding arch, and a space for the ceremony, a space to eat, and even made a whole area underground in the basement with toilets and with wardrobes, a kitchen, of course. Well, a lot of things going on, and of course you can see everything in the rest of this video. It's kind of a long video, but I wanted to get everything just in one video. I made a decision a couple of months ago to when you click on the video you can see everything. I didn't want to cut up videos into parts anymore, so it's quite long, but you can see the exterior, the interior, everything in this video. Only one video this week. If you saw my latest one, my Tokyo glass house, I talked about that I could only upload once this week, and I also talked a little bit about this collab, but there's so much going on right now in the world, and I could only upload once this week because my dad was supposed to go to surgery yesterday. But with everything going on right now, it got postponed, and I didn't want to mention it that much, but 2020 is oh my god, what's happening? And I still wanted to mention it a little bit, but my main goal from this video was to brighten up your day and brighten up my day a little bit, distract myself a little bit from everything that's going on right now. I'm still very busy. I have a teacher's degree. I'm not working as a teacher right now, but they asked me to take care of a couple of children with parents that are working as a doctor or as a policeman or a fireman, so I'm very busy with that right now, and this was really a good thing for me to distract myself a little bit and brighten up my day a little bit. So I hope I can brighten up your days a little bit as well, and just keep safe. And I just had to mention it for a little bit. I hope you don't mind. let's go back into this build. As you can see, I'm building it on, did I already switch? I'm not sure. No, I think I'm still on that 50 by 50 lot. And yeah, at this point I still thought I had enough space on a 50 by 50 lot, but man, I was wrong. I switched to another lot in a couple of minutes, a 64 by 64 one. I started this in Willow Creek, and I love this lot because it had the cherry blossom trees at the background, and I thought it looked like spring, but no, I didn't have enough space, especially because I wanted to create a huge pond in front of this build. So yeah, I switched it in a couple of minutes to a 64 by 64 lot in Windenburg. And yeah, one of my favorite lots. It's so pretty. You have so much space over there, and yeah, I said it before and I say it again, I want more 64 by 64 lots. I love that we have so much space there, and especially for the garden and all the trees that I wanted to put everywhere, and all the blossoms to really make it feel like spring themed build. My husband, like a fun quote, my husband thought it looked like a stable for unicorns. I don't know if that's a good thing. I thought it's a cool thing. So now every time when I see my thumbnail and the pictures of this build, I'm thinking about unicorns with the magical, with the glass and everything and the pink colors. And yeah, I think that's so much fun. But yeah, I'm working on the finishing touches of the exterior right now. As you can see, I used a lot of glass roofs and different roof patterns. And I'm using a different method right here with a glass roof. I used that method before, but I wanted to have a glass roof on top of a short wall. And the thing you want to do when you want to have a roof on a different height in your build, different height than just on a room or on a level. The thing you want to do, you want to place a room next to your build, just aside from your build, that you can adjust the foundation height without adjusting the foundation height of the whole main build. And then you want to place a roof on top of that separate room, and then you can raise the room up and down with the foundation tool, of course. And then when you remove the room and you have the roof on the perfect height where you want it, you remove the room, you can pull out the roof and you can pull it out in your existing build, and in that way you can create roofs on different heights. And I use it over here as well. I think it made the whole front of the build a little bit more different, a little bit more inviting. And I went with some different shapes in the roofs. I love playing around with the roof tool. It's one of my favorite things in the entire game. I'm starting with the terrain manipulation right now, and I think I switched to the different lots already here. And later on I will switch again. I will flip the lot around, or actually I will flip the build around. I love this lot, but the light is a little bit strange because during the day, during afternoon, the light comes from the left and back and not from the front of the lot. And I always want to take my screenshots of my builds with the best light, and especially with this build with a lot of glass going on everywhere, I want to have the light at the front of the build. So that's why I flipped it up in a couple of minutes. The background wasn't a little bit different than the background that I have right now. In this background it was a big waterfall and I love that look, but the light on the front of the whole thing was more important for the thumbnail and for the whole look of the build, especially with the light on it. And later on in the evening the whole world over here gets like that orangey glow. I talked about that before, in the golden hour in the game, and especially then I think it looks quite pretty with a pink shine over it. I created this huge pond in front of the entire build here, and some finishing touches. I used these debug fences for these finishing touches on this pond, and I used them so much in previous builds as well. I think it's my most used debug item. There's so many amazing debug items out there, and the most used item for me is like just a normal fence, but it came with Jungle Adventure like a debug item, and I thought it looked a little bit more realistic with that fine line all around the pond here. I'm raising up the ground all around the pond because I wanted to create a path all around the pond. Right now I'm using a different color than I'm using later on. I thought, especially when I flipped the whole lot around with the bright light on it, this kind of terrain paint looks a little bit green, and you could see all the patterns very good in it, like all these lines, and it looks a little bit less realistic than the terrain paint that I will use later on. I created the basic shape of the path that I wanted over here, and then I used the eraser to put in all the finishing touches and to really make the whole path look smooth. In a couple of minutes I will work on the landscaping, and I will work on all the trees. I went through all the debug items, through all the debug trees. Of course I wanted to use a lot of spring trees, or it looked like it gave me a spring feel. So a lot of pink and white, a lot of blossomy trees, and in that way I wanted to give this build to look like it really was a spring themed build. Of course, with that whole wedding theme, it was spring themed already because most weddings are in spring, but I wanted to make that whole spring feel a little bit more with all the different trees. As you can see, the light changed now, and I flipped around the entire build. So the light is totally different now, and I think it looks a little bit more realistic. It's not that bright, but with the road behind it and with the light on the front of it, and especially with all the trees, I really made a decision because I thought it looked a little bit more realistic. I'm building this huge wedding venue right now, but I got married myself last June, so almost a year ago, almost. And no, my wedding was totally different. This isn't my dream wedding venue. It's more like I said, like a dream wedding for a Disney princess or like one of the Kardashians or something. But no, my wedding was totally different. I went more the bohemian style. We only invited 20 people during the day and just like 20 more for the evening. We got married in the forest with a lot of lights, and oh man, I can still feel all warm and bubbly inside when I think about it. It was such a gorgeous day. The weather was perfect, and we kept it very, very small. I don't like to be in the middle of the attention, and we just wanted to keep it smaller, and it was so romantic. Like I said, just in the middle of the forest. There was a small restaurant over there with a deck in the forest and with small lights all over it. So I could still wear my very high heels without stepping in the mud in the forest, but still we could be married in the forest. And we loved hiking, so that was basically the main thing why we started thinking about getting married in the forest. So it was totally different than this entire wedding venue that I'm building right now. My sister, on the other hand, got married like 10 years ago, and her wedding was more in an environment like that. She had more than 300 guests, I think. And they were all there during the day as well. And it was totally different. But it's so much fun that everybody has their own taste in it, and that everybody wants something different from their weddings. As you can see, the finishing touches on the landscaping now. I already went through some items and already placed them there on the right corner. So I could make this video a little bit shorter, that you didn't have to see all the time that I went through all the different items. I wanted to place a clock on the exterior of this build. I thought it gave it a little bit more. And these ducks in the pond, they're a statue. I think they're just with base game. And they have like a very small pedestal underneath them, but when you place them in water like this, and especially with this watercolor, you can't see that pedestal anymore. So they really look like ducks in the water, and I thought it looked a little bit more realistic. And especially that whole realistic but over the top idea I really had in the back of my mind while I was building this. But we're on to the interior right now, and in the interior I wanted to work with a lot of lights and hanging flowers. And for these hanging flowers, you can see me placing them in now. They came with Island Living. They're a debug item, and I think they're supposed to be in the ocean, like seaweed or something, sea flowers, but yeah, they're perfect for a wedding venue as well. You see these amazing pictures on Pinterest from weddings with all these flowers from the roof, and I didn't want to overdo it because there was already so much going on in this build. But I still wanted to have these hanging flowers from the ceiling. And they came in a couple of different colors, but I only went with the white flowers over here. This is the area where the whole wedding ceremony can take place. So a lot of chairs, of course, and a wedding arch later on. In the whole entrance area, I will put a huge fountain in later on. It came with Get Famous, and I never expected that I could use it in the build, but I combined it with some cherry blossom trees, and I think it looked gorgeous. But it's so, talking about over the top, it's so over the top. On the other side of the entire wedding venue, there will be an area where you can eat with a lot of small tables and a lot of flowers. Of course, a dance floor later on, and a lot of lights everywhere, a lot of small lights, big lights. Basement with the toilets, with a wardrobe, with a huge kitchen and a couple of other things going on. So yeah, I think you can already feel where I'm going with this. I wanted to cut off this voiceover by now. I really hope you will enjoy the rest of this video and you've enjoyed it so far. Make sure to check out all these other amazing simmers that joined this collab. It was so much fun to join this collab, so thank you guys so much for asking me to join this collab. I really hope you will have a safe and good weekend. I hope to talk to you soon. I think my next video will be on Monday. Yeah, I'm sure my next video will be on Monday. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do. I try to do a lot of different things to keep you guys inspired for your own builds. Yeah, have a good day. Goodbye.